Hello there. Today I watched The Wrath of Becky, and now I want to tell you about it. The Wrath of Becky is an action horror film follow-up to the film Becky. It was co-written and co-directed by Matt Angel and Suzanne Coote, and doesn't require you to have seen the first film to understand the story. It does a good job of introducing the characters to a new audience. After losing her father to neo-Nazis and subsequently revenge killing all of them, Becky decides to hide out in rural America. She rents a room from a sweet old lady and tries to return to being a normal teenager. Things are going great until a group called the Noblemen shows up in town looking to cause trouble. Becky finds herself drawn back into the world of neo-Nazis and unleashes her inner slasher. The story is a revenge fantasy, starting off by setting up the characters and then introducing a massive low point. The low point is the inciting incident for the rest of the story, and from there we see Becky go on a rampage. It's not entirely consistent in terms of tone or logic, but it is an exciting story. Every 10 minutes or so there's another slasher-style murder, and they go out of their way to make them extreme. There are some weird moments that don't really fit the tone of the film, like at the beginning when Becky pretends to be wholesome for the family. I'm not sure why they even included it, given that she runs away 5 seconds later and we never see them again. The characters are mostly stereotypes, with only Becky and Daryl showing any real depth. Neither of them develops over the course of the film, but at least we got to see different sides to them. The rest of the characters are mindlessly evil, cowardly and evil, or extras without a personality. The one thing that was a little story-breaking is how many times the villains had the chance to put an end to Becky and decided not to for unknown reasons. They all purport to be terrible people, they even do terrible things, but for some reason no one ever just shoots Becky straight up. They never even injure her. Visually, the journey is captivating and accomplishes everything it set out to do in style. The camera work and the editing come together to make each moment feel impactful. They pick out an emotion and use the visuals and the audio in tandem to draw that out in you. For example, there's one scene where Becky is waiting for her workday to end and she's staring at the clock. The way the camera moves between her and the clock and the way it zeroes in on her eyes as she focuses on the time is just a perfect encapsulation of a feeling we all know. On top of the snappy editing and solid camera work, there are also a number of great slasher-style horror scenes of Becky killing the men. She finds a bunch of creative and extreme ways to kill them and has several fantasies where she manages to outdo herself. Sound-wise, the film makes use of mostly background instrumentals with a few original songs throughout. The music tends to be basic tense tracks for suspenseful moments, a few melancholic notes during sad scenes, and upbeat repetitive songs for action scenes. The original songs mostly come in during the action sequences, but there was a scene when the Noblemen sing their theme song, which was kind of funny. It's terrible and they should get a better writer. The music is effective at amplifying the mood in any given scene, and during a few moments is significant, but generally it isn't standing out. It blends into the scene. I did like the song that played after the final battle though. It was a nice way to send them out. Cast-wise, there isn't much going on. We have a bunch of guys acting like douchebags and then getting fearful after things go south. The nice but tough old lady, and then Becky and Daryl. Most of the screen time is split between Becky, played by Lulu Wilson, and the Noblemen. Sean William Scott as Daryl, the leader of the Noblemen, gets the most time out of the group. Lulu Wilson is a bit stiff in her role, providing enough emotion to get the basics of the story across, but never appearing to truly embody them. Her face twists up in a rage, and her eyes get wide when she's supposed to look sad, but you just never feel them emanating from her. Sean William Scott as Daryl is both terrifying, but also a little bit charming. Every single second we spend with him makes us feel like he's about to snap, and for a long time he doesn't. Tension builds until he finally lets loose, and it's even more terrifying than you imagined. He's a true monster that has a lot of respect for those with the strength to survive. One of the surprising standouts of the film was the different Noblemen. Even though they were all bad guys, they felt like different flavors of intolerant people, and each of them managed to feel unique. Michael Cera, Aaron Dallavilla, Courtney Gaines, and Matt Angel each felt like a real person despite not getting much screen time. Each of them shows off a pretty wide range of emotion throughout the film too, from intense anger to extreme fear. Overall, The Wrath of Becky is a fun little slasher-style action film where a teenager takes revenge on the men who wronged her. It's got some great visuals, a decent soundtrack, a good villain, and a lot of excitement. The writing isn't great, and the lead could show a little more emotion, but if you like gore-style action films, then this one should be right up your alley. 6 out of 10. And remember, these are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Bye-bye!